Today I will be discussing pesticides, and a little more specifically, I'm going to touch mainly on carbamate pesticides and what they are. Carbamate pesticides are used to kill or control insects. They are made from carbamic acid, and there are many forms of carbamates, each different in the way they work and in their poisonous effects. Carbamates are used as sprays or baits to kill insects by affecting their brains and nervous system. They are used on crops and in the home to kill cockroaches, ants, fleas, crickets, lacebugs, and mealybugs. Some carbamates control mosquitoes. It is also important to note carbamates and other pesticides break down in the environment within weeks or months, which is a very long time if you consider how harmful they can be to other wildlife and to the human's health. This is very fascinating, as it is always interesting to know how the agricultural industry deals with these kinds of pests to keep our crops safe. And also interesting to know what goes into the bug-killing sprays we use in our homes to control those unwanted pests that always seem to show up. The structure of basic carbamate pesticides. Carbamate pesticides are esters of carbamic acid, achieving chemical stability with the introduction of one or two N-alkylyl substituents at R4 and R5, and with alkylyl or allyl substituents at R6. As you can see, this is the basic chemical structure of a carbamate pesticide. Controversy surrounding pesticides. These are the side effects on humans and wildlife. Although carbamate and other types of pesticides can be beneficial to us, it is also important to note that they can have serious negative effects to the environment and human health. Accidental exposure to breathing in pesticides like carbamate-based ones can include headaches, dizziness, weakness. It can also cause shaking, stomach cramps, diarrhea, and sweating. An accidental exposure to your skin can cause a minor rash on it, which is not good. Myths about pesticides, government regulations. One of the biggest sources of false information out there about the use of pesticides is that our government is protecting us. Our regulatory system is not doing its job. More than 1 billion pounds of pesticides are applied every year on US farms, forests, golf courses, and lawns. The government does a poor job on regulating the use of pesticides. Another myth is that pesticides are not that dangerous. They're engineered to cause death, and the harms to human health are very well documented, with children and pregnant women especially at risk.
What do I find intriguing or interesting about this topic? I find it intriguing because it's something that is used in our everyday life, in what we eat, such as vegetables or fruits. Like, um, what's it called? Here I added some examples too about the chemicals in our shopping, like oranges, flower, pears. I'll give an example. Let's say like with apples, like this is like basically like a little chemical way to like see if like apples are full of pesticides. Let's say you just bought an apple from the store, you see them, they're like super shiny, but if you wash them after washing it, it turns like very dry and the shininess goes away because you're basically washing the what's it called, the pesticide away. And I don't know, I just think it's very important because it's something that us humans eat in our everyday life. Like there could be like healthier ways of changing your eating habits. Like it's actually more healthier to just not put like use pesticides and like our vegetable fruits and just eat it with worms, which is completely like nasty because like obviously you wouldn't want to see a worm in your salad, but it's way more healthier than using pesticides actually. That's an important fact that I read in an article. Um but yeah, I would say that's what I found interesting because I feel like maybe humans could live longer if we were not to use this. Like maybe this is the fact of why cancer happens or a lot of like diseases happen because of foods that we eat and what we put, the chemicals, how toxic it is in our bodies. Um, but yeah, the relevance to my career. Well, I want to be a vet and I really care about animals and our system is kind of the same as how animals is. So not only it affects humans but also affects animals. Um, Pets at home are exposed when people use pesticides in their homes or gardens. Also, also wildlife. Wildlife, it's not really pets at home are obviously the most exposed, but like wildlife is the most exposed to pesticides, and they will eat like other poison animals such as rats or mice that are exposed to it. There will be other animals that will be eating, and then it will produce to them. It will be passed to them and passed to them, just like how diseases are passed. So I think those are really important. Those are really important facts of why it's relevant to my career, because um, not only changes if we were to find like a change to healthier change to this, it will also help not only humans but also animals. Um, Here in these pictures, I added some examples. I was saying, there's other animals. Like here, you can see a bird eating a mice or a rat that was probably exposed to it, and then it's gonna go to the bird, and then whatever eats the bird is gonna go to it. So even like chickens or cows too, like because they're close to farms. So I would say they will also be very exposed, and then we eat that, which it's really bad too. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Um, so yeah, that's the end of it.